What I hear most often from our clients is good news, and that is, hey, you really helped me. The training that you had for our staff was fantastic. DMIG University was very valuable. It's working, and it's helping people. Classes are full.
Fresno's former deputy police chief, a man once in a position of trust, walked out of court with his family Tuesday after being found guilty of federal drug trafficking charges. 12 jurors reached a unanimous verdict on 2 counts of conspiring to distribute heroin and marijuana. They were hung on the remaining 6. Foster's attorney, Marshall Hodgkins, was not thrilled with the outcome.
The only word that is coming in my mind right now is tragedy.
U.S. Attorney Philip A. Talbert released this statement, reading in part, quote, although the jury was not able to reach verdicts on the additional counts relating to Foster's alleged involvement and trafficking oxycodone, we are grateful for their hard work and the guilty verdicts they returned, end quote.
The badge doesn't change humanity.
Central Valley attorney Roger Benakdar tells Action News this case reminds him of former Bakersfield police officer Demasio Diaz. He was also linked to drug trafficking charges.
In that case, as you recall, the officer was charged with selling drugs that had been confiscated as evidence.
Diaz was handed a 5-year sentence in federal prison, and Benakdar believes he would have gotten a longer sentence if it were not for his history in law enforcement, something he says could come into play for Foster too.
The fact that Mr. Foster was on the force for so long and his many accolades that he received is going to be a huge factor for sentencing. It will significantly weigh in his favor.
But for now, Foster faces up to 20 years in prison with a fine of $1 million for the count relating to heroin. And he could also face a maximum of 5 years and a fine of $250,000 for the marijuana trafficking offense. And Foster is able to remain free until his sentencing date, which is in October. We're live in downtown Fresno. Corey James, ABC 30 Action News.
Police chief found guilty in massive heroin trafficking conspiracy, facing 25 years. Fresno CA, as the Free Thought Project points out on a daily basis, oftentimes, the most trusted members of society are the most criminal individuals out there. This point is made recently in Fresno, California, as the former deputy police chief, one of the most trusted men in town, was found guilty on federal drug trafficking charges. To be clear, the Free Thought Project has reported on the atrocities and unintended consequences of the prohibition of arbitrary substances by the state. So, someone providing a willing adult with a product that they want for themselves is not morally wrong, as there is no victim. That being said, however, when a person who claims the legal authority to kidnap, cage, and kill you over those substances uses their authority to deal in those very substances, this is not only hypocritical, it is tyrannical. Deputy Keith Foster is one of these individuals who locked people in a cage for things he was doing himself, but on a much larger scale. Image, http://pixel.watch/QT7. Luckily, the residents of California, through the court system, saw this man's hypocritical tyranny and found him guilty of it. 12 jurors reached a unanimous verdict on 2 counts of conspiring to distribute heroin and marijuana, ABC 30 reports. They were hung on the remaining 6 charges. As the Fresno Bee reports, the jury deadlocked on 6 charges, including 5 counts involving the distribution of oxycodone. The 6th deadlock charge accused Foster of using a cell phone in furtherance of drug trafficking. The only word that is coming through my mind right now is tragedy, Foster's attorney, Marshall Hodgkins, said after the outcome. Read more, cops refusing to let it go. Queen Elsa arrested multiple times this week as cities are frozen. How, exactly, is a corrupt cop getting found guilty, who was running a massive heroin ring, knowing that there is an epidemic of heroin overdoses plaguing America right now, a tragedy? Indeed, it is the exact opposite. Had he stayed on the force and kept his badge, that, Mr. Hodgkins, would have been a tragedy. U.S. Attorney Philip A. Talbert also released a statement, reading in part, although the jury was not able to reach verdicts on the additional counts relating to Foster's alleged involvement in trafficking oxycodone, We are grateful for their hard work and the guilty verdicts they returned. Naturally, after being found guilty of betraying his community and running a massive drug trafficking ring, Foster was given blue privilege and allowed to remain free on his own recognizance. While the Free Thought Project didn't pull the records for how many times convicted leaders of massive heroin trafficking rings are allowed free on their own recognizance until their sentencing dates, we are betting that it probably never happens unless, of course, you're a cop. It's unfortunate, but that's our system, Hodgkins said of the verdict as his client walked out of the courtroom on free bail. We tried the case we wanted. Foster will now remain a free man until he is sentenced in October. He is now facing the possibility of 20 years in prison and up to $1 million in fines for the heroin conviction, and up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine for the marijuana conviction. However, judging from his special treatment already, it is highly unlikely that he'll see anything close to that time. Read more. Breaking: Houston Police Chief and DA make huge stand against feds refuse to jail pot users. The badge does not change humanity, said Roger Bonakdar, an attorney in the Central Valley. In a statement this week, U.S. Attorney Talbert summed up the situation perfectly by noting, when a police officer misuses his official position to commit crimes for personal profit, it is the ultimate betrayal of public trust. The betrayal is only compounded when the officer involved is in a leadership position in the police department. By conspiring with others to traffic heroin and marijuana, Keith Foster not only disgraced the office he held, he put the community he was sworn to protect in danger.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.